G'day guys, welcome to Shanky Garage. So you probably noticed that the 1 tonner is not here, but I've taken it around to the motor trimmers. It is a little bit late this episode, so apologies, just due to the flooding here in Brisbane. It sort of put things on hold for a bit. But anyway, we're going to do some wiring and also take it for its first ever drive after 14 years. Also, just a quick one, if you want to help support the channel, head over to the Shanky Garage merch store. So there's t-shirts, hoodies, various products. I'll put a link in the show notes below. So with that, we'll jump straight into the video. Okay, this episode of the HX 1 tonner build, going to get this thing all wired up. Now, in the last episode, got all the sound deadener installed on the inside, and yeah, now it's pretty much ready for the wiring. So just to give an update on a few things, I've installed the radiator. So this is the first time I've installed the radiator in since I've painted the black. So it used to be alloy. So I ended up painting it in the black. So sprayed the epoxy over the alloy and then direct gloss black. So I think that's turned out really nice. Got the thermo installed as well. Got the transmission cooler in there as well. Also, I got the Astra electric power steering pump that's installed in there. So I ended up painting that black as well. So that definitely looks a lot better than that crusty sort of plastic color. And then moving around into interior, the steering wheel's arrived. So this has come from the States and it's a Billet Specialties steering wheel. So I think that's gonna look pretty awesome. Matches the shifter. And there's a half wrap that goes around here. So some screws that go on the back and screw the half wrap to the steering wheel. But I'm gonna get that wrapped in the same color as the seats. So it'll be the brown. So it'll be black and brown. So yeah, I think that looks pretty awesome. Now with the wiring, ended up getting a Auto Sparky around to give me a hand, and I was gonna tackle this myself, but I am in a bit of a rush to get this thing all wired up, ready for the motor trimmers. So it's just gonna be a lot easier to get someone around who knows what they're doing to get this all wired up, and I know it's gonna be wired up correctly as well. I could spend weeks trying to figure it out, and it still might not be wired up correctly. So I think some things are just, best left to the professionals. Now I ended up sourcing a easy wiring kit, and this kit I think is a 21 circuit, and it's basically already wired up to the fuse box, and then from the fuse box it just goes out into your section. So your rear tail light section with your fuel pump, and then another section goes out to your headlights, indicators. Another section will go out to your dash. So yeah, it's pretty much just already pre-wired up, and you just basically run all your sections out to various parts of your car. So if this was a basic kind of install, if I didn't really incorporate all the buttons in the digital dash, I think this would definitely be a lot easier to tackle by yourself. But because I'm running the digital dash and the billet buttons, it just sort of adds a little bit of complexity into the wiring. So it then requires a bit of cutting and shutting into the easy wiring kit by running some extra relays and a few other bits and pieces as well. Now starting with the fuse panel, decided to mount the fuse panel inside the glove box here. Now you can just see I've just put in some strips of alloy, so I just bolted them inside the glove box here. So there's a couple bolts that go here and then on the other side. So then that'll just mount to that strip. And then also I've got the module for the remote central locking, so that's mounted in there as well. And I've just cut out a hole in the back of the glove box for the wires to come through. So I think that's gonna make it a lot more accessible than have the fuse box mounted underneath the dash there. Because I've sort of modified all this dash, there's not really anywhere that's going to be accessible that's going to be easy to get to the fuse box. So I just think in the glove box, it's going to make it nice and tidy. Okay, so the wiring's come to a bit of a standstill. It's been absolutely pissing here in Brisbane. This is day 3 of just non-stop rain like this. Everywhere's flooded, there's roads closed. It's pretty crazy up here at the moment. Fortunately, with my block, it's on top of a hill, so I'm not really affected very badly at all, and the shed is at the highest point of the block, so the ute is safe here. But yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's just come to a standstill. My Auto Sparky, he can't obviously get here, there's roads closed and all that sort of stuff, so I've been keeping busy doing a few bits and pieces. I've done all the brakes, bled up all the brakes. There's a bit of water getting in here, but it's not too bad. Nothing that's going to cause any damage in here. But yeah, I've just been tinkering around, bleeding brakes. I've got the coolant in here. I've put the, I've plumbed up the catch can here. So just here to use some stainless steel braided line for the catch cans. So that's turned out really good. My camera's fogging up here too, by the way. There's just that much water in the air that it's just fogging this camera up as well. But yeah, it's pretty gnarly. There's down the road, there's an intersection. It's literally just engulfed in water. There's cars floating in it. I might go down there for a bit of a walk and film it because yeah, it's I've never seen that before around here. So yeah, unfortunately, this is where I'm at. So yeah, this is the intersection down the road. Absolutely insane. You can see the traffic lights down there, but there's a couple of cars that are floating in there. You can see that sign. Yeah, pretty gnarly. Okay, so it's been about 2 weeks since all the rain and flooding here in Brisbane, and things have cleared up. Life's gone back to normal. All the water's subsided, and the process of cleaning up and throwing out all the damaged stuff has gone underway. My place is all good. I'm very thankful that, yeah, my house didn't get affected, or the shed, or the tonner. So unfortunately, the video came to a bit of a standstill. I lost power for 5 days due to the flooding. The substation flooded and had no power for 5 days. So I was unable to charge the camera and the microphone and do any editing. And I was pretty restricted on what I could do on the car as well. Obviously no power in the shed as well. So anyway, I've been working as well, and my Auto Sparky has continued on with the wiring. So I haven't really filmed a whole lot of the wiring. Now it is installed, all the wiring, so I'll just go around and talk about how it's wired up. Starting out at the battery, so I've got this mounted in the rear, as you can see, and just in here, I've got a isolator installed as well, so it's sort of semi-hidden in here. But yeah, you can just turn that off, that switches your main power off, and then you can take this out, take it with you if you want, and yeah, that way no one's gonna be able to flog your car because it's got no power. So yeah, that's quite handy as well. So from your battery positive, got your main power wire that comes through this MIDI fuse, goes up through the left-hand side of the cab here. So there's a hole drilled here with a grommet. So all the harnessing comes through this side of the cab. Originally, all your harnessing to the rear is on your right-hand side, but I'm gonna blank that off and yeah, obviously put it all on the left-hand side. So then yeah, the power then goes up to your fuse panel. So in here, I've just got this bit of paper. Hang on, get that to focus. It's got this bit of paper in here, just holding that up for the time being. So you've got your fuse box in there, and then from there, it just goes out to your various harnessing to the rear for your tail lights, your fuel pump, fuel level sensor, and then yeah, obviously you got your other harness that comes out through the front here. So all your front wiring harness for your lights, that is coming out. You're probably not going to be able to see in there, but it's coming out through there and then up through the inside of this outer guard, and then just follows. So yeah, you've got your lights there, and then that follows up underneath here, so you can't really see it. And then all along here to the other side for the lights, and then there's another harness that goes underneath there to your Astra pump. So that Astra pump's all wired up as well. So then for all the wires on the engine and all your firewall, there's another hole and a grommet that's just in there, just underneath at the back of the engine. So from that grommet, you've got your wires that go to your coolant sensor, temp sensor. You've got this one here that goes down to your oil pressure sender. Then you've got wires to your coil. So I ended up getting a new coil and mounting it at the back of the engine. So that's nice and tidy there. So then you've got a couple of wires that go to your brake proportional valve. So that's just to for your brake lights. So I'm not running a switch at your pedal. It basically picks up the brake lights from your proportional valve. And then underneath here, they're not mounted yet, but you've got your relay banks, so they're going to be mounted up underneath there. So them relays are for all your buttons. So you switch the button and then that works your relay for each function. Then you've got a harness that comes through here to your shifter, so that's for your neutral cutout and your reverse switch. And then this wire then goes to your seat for your electric seat. And then there's wires that come through here to your door, so that's for your central locking, and then for your speakers as well. So she's all pretty much, all the wires are ran. There's still a little bit to do, tidying up all the wiring. So all this stuff here, so all this is for your tail lights. So I've got to get all them tail lights and everything installed, build all the tray. So all this is not mounted yet. It's kind of all ran loosely for the time being. Okay, I'm just going to film this without the gimbal. It's a little bit tight in here for the gimbal. So apologies, it's going to be a little bit more shakier than usual. So how all this works is you've got your ignition, so you've got your key. So that basically, once you turn that, that provides power to your dash and then also your DIN unit. So you can see they are powered up now. So all this key is basically for is just to provide power to them, and then also provide power to your ignition switch here. So now that they're powered up, you've got power to your ignition switch, so you can basically switch that on, and then that provides power to all the rest of these buttons. Over this side, you've got your Parker, you've got your low beam, high beam, interior light, you've got hazard lights, demisters, wiper, and then that one's just a spare. I might use that. I might put a light on the back of the tray, underneath the tray, so when you lift the tray up, there'll be a light underneath there. So that's all your sort of ancillary stuff over there. And then over this side, you've got your door lock and unlock, your engine start, you've got your power steering pump there, you've got your fan. Now the fan will be controlled by the Holley Pro Dash, so it'll come on once it hits a certain temperature, but then you can override it also. So if you want to override it and have the fan going all the time, you can basically just press that on, so you can hear them fans power up there. And then you've got your fuel pump as well. So basically ignition on, fuel pump on, then you've got your power steering, so I'll turn that on. Now it does take a little while to wind up. I'll turn it on now and I'll give you a bit of an idea of how long it takes. So that's on. So it does take a while, and there is a way to wire that up so it comes on straight away. So I'll get that done because that does take quite a while to wind up, which would kind of get pretty annoying after a while. But anyway, that's basically it. So you can basically turn the pump on, the fuel pump, and then we'll fire this thing up. Okay, so how bloody good is that? I am super stoked on that wiring. It has turned out really good. Everything works as it should, and all the wiring, it's all hidden, nice and tidy. You can't see any of it. There's a few bits and pieces like this wire here that goes to the valley, but yeah, for the most part, it's all pretty much all hidden. Now there's still a few things to finish off with the wiring. Got to still terminate the back lights and get all that done, mount all the harness at the back here. But I'll wait till all the trays are built for that. And still got to configure all this dash. So that dash, it all powers up, but none of it works yet. All the sensors and all your inputs, outputs need to be all configured. But yeah, for the most part, it's all pretty much, it runs and can be driven. So with that, it is pretty much now time to drop it on the ground and test drive this thing. I won't be able to go too far in it. I'll probably just take it out and you know, drive it just onto the road and spin around and drive it back in. But anyway, it's a bit of a milestone. It's been probably, you know, 13, 14 years since the last time I drove this. And the last time it was on the road, it had a 253 in it, so it's definitely a massive upgrade. But yeah, since being able to start this up, I've bled all the steering, so I've just worked the steering from lock to lock and then just double check all the power steering oil. And yeah, there's no leaks anywhere, so the brakes have been bled as well, so there's no leaks on the brake lines, no leaks on the power steering, there's no leaks on the coolant. I could not find any leaks anywhere, so that has been quite good. I was sort of expecting there to be a few leaks, but yeah, it's all turned out really good. Obviously, I still need to take it for a decent drive, warm it all up, take it for a bit of a shakedown, and then check it all over after that. But so far, it seems to be all pretty good. I've also just worked the transmission, so I've put it into the reverse and drive, and that all works. So all the transmission linkages have been set up all correctly. So yeah, I'll put these wheels on and drop it down, and we'll do the big move. Okay, so that is the first time I've driven this thing in about 13 or 14 years, and that felt bloody awesome. I was a little bit nervous driving it out of the shed, but everything worked as it should and had no issues at all. Now, it was a bit of a saga driving it out. Now, I drove it out to the front of the driveway and it started raining and spitting, so I thought I'd just reverse it back into this bay here. And it sits pretty low and the exhaust was hitting on the edge of this concrete, so that's a bit of a bummer. But I actually done my first shed skid. I didn't film it, but it was just by accident. But yeah, first ever shed skid. So I had to drive it all the way out onto the road and then drive it up the road and turn it around and then drive in and then put it in this bay. There's more clearance in this bay here. And yeah, it doesn't have a lot of traction. It was just spinning the wheels on this grass and that. Bloody flicked dirt and grass all over the back here. So it's got all shit all over it. But anyway, I'll give it all a wash, and I've booked the tow truck, so he's going to come around and we'll take it to the motor trimmers. So this is really weird not seeing the 1 tonner there, but plenty of room for activities now. But either way, I'm really happy to get it off to the motor trimmers, super excited to get that underway. And yeah, really happy to be able to take it for a drive for the first time. Even though it was just literally onto the road and turned it around, it still felt pretty bloody awesome to take it for a drive. So I'm gonna have a beer anyway to celebrate the milestone there, so cheers. I just want to give a big shout out to Ben at Grounded Auto Electrics. Now, Ben is the auto sparky that wired up the tonner, and I wasn't quite sure whether he wanted to be mentioned in the video or not, but he was more than happy for me to mention him. And yeah, he's done an awesome job. I'm more than happy to recommend Ben. Now, I wasn't actually quite aware of this, but Ben used to work for Downtown Customs and he wired up the Sharp HQ. So I'm sure you guys are probably familiar seeing this HQ in Street Machine or in shows or whatever, but yeah, he wired up this, and then also this HT as well, so I'll put some photos up on the screen. So yeah, he wired up that as well, and he's done an awesome job so far on the 1 tonner. There's still a little bit more to finish off on there, but for the most part it's pretty much nearly all done. But yeah, he's just still got a few other bits and pieces to wire up once it comes back from the trimmers and stuff. I'll put a link in the show notes for his Facebook page and also his Instagram. So if you want to hit up Ben, now he works around Brisbane area, so if you want to reach out to him, if you are after a auto sparky to wire up your car or any auto sparky work, then yeah, hit up Ben. So I guess with that, if you like what I do and want to help support the channel, hit that subscribe button and also the bell notification, leave a comment as well. Also, if you are new to the channel and want to check out the whole build for the 1 tonner that's not here anymore, hit that card up in this corner here and that'll be the very first episode all the way to the latest episode. So have a good binge on that. And yeah, I guess we'll leave it with that and we'll see you next time on Shanky Garage. Cheers.